Welcome to today's Science Inquiry. I'm George Wolf. Now today's inquiry is going to use some corks and a couple of cups of water. Pretty simple, huh? Well, let's take a look at what we're going to do here. I am going to take this cork and drop it into this cup of water. And let's see what happens to the cork after just a few seconds. It's floating around, and it seems to want to go over toward the edge. Well, I guess that's no surprise to most of you. But now we're going to look at this next cup of water, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put that cork in there, and let's watch it go toward the edge and see what happens. Yep, it's going toward the edge. But you know what? It doesn't seem very anxious to get there. In fact, it won't go toward the edge. It's refusing to go to the edge. Well, what's up with that? Well, obviously, that's going to be a question today. But right now, I want you to look up a term before you answer this question. And the term is meniscus. Now, after you look it up, try and answer the question that goes along with this inquiry. Why did the cork float to the middle on the second cup and to the outside edge on the other? Good luck. When you answered that question, did you say that these cups each had a different meniscus? Well, if you did, you got the right answer. Let's talk a little bit about what's up with a meniscus. All right, well, first of all, let's start with this cup right here. And you'll notice that this water is not filled to the very brim. And so when I put a cork in there, it's going to scoot over to the side because, as we'll see in a couple of seconds at the board, that meniscus is pointing upward, all right? So we call that a kind of a concave meniscus. All right, now let's see what's going on here. And we could do a very cool thing here. We'll just put that cork in there, and it won't go to the side. But if we do something else, we could see, watch what happens when I put a cork right on the side. It scoots away from the side, as if it's floating upward. Now that's kind of strange, huh? Not if we look at the board. Let's go to the board and take a look why this worked. Well, you looked up the word meniscus, and you found out the meniscus is the shape that the water takes, or anything takes, when it's in a container. Now, let's take a look at the cup here where the water was not to the top. The meniscus was shaped in what I called a concave way. Now, that happens for two reasons. One, the force of adhesion and the force of cohesion. Let's start with adhesion. Adhesion is what happens when the water molecules stick to the glass or the plastic on the side of that cup. And they climb up, and they climb up, and they climb up. And then they pull other water molecules with them. And so it climbs up the glass until it gets too heavy and it stops. Now, the force of the water on the glass or the cup is called adhesion. They're adhering. And the pulling of those other water molecules is called cohesion. So these two forces form a meniscus. Well, that's our first one, our concave meniscus. Now let's look at what we're going to call our convex meniscus. In that case, I had the water poured so that it was all the way to the top and a little bit more. And again, it's those forces of cohesion holding those water molecules together, keeping that above, so that when I put a cork on there, the cork floated to the center. Okay, whereas in this one, the cork actually floated to the side because it couldn't go up to the top and then move that way. So it would never, ever, ever go up and stay in the center. Couldn't do that. Very cool stuff. So let's summarize what we've learned. One, adhesion is the force of attraction between two unlike molecules, the water and the cup. Cohesion is the force of attraction between like molecules, the water molecules. The meniscus is what happens at the surface of a container of liquid. That's neat stuff. I hope you like it too. Listen, I'm George Wolf, and I want you to remember to discuss today's science challenge with your class and your teacher. And I'm going to challenge you guys again next time. And remember this, you won't get any answers unless you ask some good questions.